Listen. Alright, boys and girls, the time has come that we have had Grand Duke of Dark Blood, Schmid. Alright, we got that. There's a PV video. I'm not watching that. Alright, and of course, we do have the dev notes also in this. This is like, it's 5 a.m. I just was half asleep. We got a lot to talk about, and I'm going in specialty order because I already seen the patch note, the dev note, but I'm just gonna go into Schmid first, and then we'll double back into the dev note. So without further ado, skidum rinky dinky do, let's get into it. All right, boys and girls, this is what was really important for a lot of us. This is the Vagabond's version of their general getting an FC. This is a really big momentous occasion, though it is just a skin, and that is also going to go into when we go into the dev notes, because I did read those, and I do want to show you guys and tell you guys how I feel about that as well. But let's first go into Schmid and Jensen and see what he has to bring to the table. I am the table. All right, so obviously he looks pretty cool. You know, I'm beyond that. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm beyond the looks at this point. You know, he's a gold, as we know. I mean, the boy better be a gold now. I'm really interested to see this. So I just, you know, there's no point of holding this back. We got a lot to cover, honestly. So we have this is normal stuff, right? So Guardian, oh my. This motherfucker stole a whole paragraph. A bad Schmid went to a book, into a novel, and he said, yo, I want all that writing, all those letters. Let me get that. Let me get those letters. Let's start off first. So we have corruption. Increases own attack by 20% for 7 turns upon receiving health regeneration. So he has the opposite of Kylock. He has the opposite of Kylock. So I guess the black, the dark, yeah, the black, yes, it's actually correct. The black ones versus the white ones. The white ones, so anyone that has the nicey fancy, ooh, give me a hug, are gonna have the defense when they get healed, and these guys are gonna have the attack, which makes a little bit more sense, because if they gave them the defense, which a lot of people were actually saying, it would have made them very strong, and I guess they went with a attack variant, which is good for him. But we're, of course, it might not be as beneficial to the other characters that are going to be back, like Nemiris is going to be the black, so he's probably going to have corruption. So at least we kind of get a little taste of the differences between the two skins in the line, so the black and the white. So he's going to increase his attack every time he gets healed. Upon healing regeneration, which we already know, as I've shown in the Kylock video, which you guys should go watch, is that you need to actually hurt. You need to be have taken some damage in order for this thing to trigger. You cannot heal on nothing unless you have a skill that's not like a skill that just heals you. The reason why I'm clarifying this is because of Dorka. Like, people were before like, oh, it's just an instant combo with Dorka, but Dorka doesn't heal units that aren't hurt, so you do have to hurt them first, or you have to bring in a healer that actually heals. But as you guys know, it's a 7-turn buff that needs to stack. So unless you have a way to continuously heal someone, like Leftman's S1 or something of that nature, something that's going to heal you every turn, it's not as blow your mind as it's supposed to be. And also, it's going to be really difficult, so he needs to get hit a little bit. And the problem that actually desynergizes him with it is actually in his own kit, which is Guardian. So he'll reduce his own received damage by 90% when all allies except himself with the Master's footsteps mark are alive. So the reason why this is kind of boo-boo is because he's actually doesn't take that much damage. So if the other thing was defense, it would have made it increase his survivability even more, made him a really annoying, pesky guy. But now he's getting attack, so hopefully he can utilize that in a decent manner, because it just kind of like, if he heals, like again with Dorka, he's gonna heal back quicker, and then the timer is going to go away. His attack boost is going to go away. Hopefully he has time to use it. Obviously this is going to be more of a experimental thing. Once you actually see it in action, how many stacks does he normally have on his second turn, and then that will depict on how good he is. But let me keep reading on here. We got the Dark Blood command is, if there is another living allied marked with Master's Footsteps besides himself, increases the attack and defense of the enemy that activates a damage immunity effect and enemies in the same row by 80% for 15 turns. So this is a big FU to Tantalo. I can't think of any other. Who else has damage immunity? I can't even think of another unit that naturally gives it, but I'm pretty sure someone like that, you know, has the encyclopedia of Exos heroes will tell you immediately. But yes, so if there's another person with Master's Footsteps, so as long as someone else has it, which at least one person is, you need at least one other person to have it in order for Schmid to work anyway. They'll lose their attack and defense by 80%. That is a big drop. That is a huge drop. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to love that. It's going to make it, I think the defense part counts more, but the attack obviously makes it easier for you units to survive. This has nothing to do with signature force, so like he's still gonna put out good damage regardless of how high his attack is. So, you know, so overall amazing thing, especially with the current meta of things. This might maybe on very higher ends of PvP. I don't think it's going to affect the smaller guys yet, but on the higher ends of PvP, for a person that pretty much saw Schmid getting an FC, maybe if it was data mined in enough time, that they would say, oh baby, I'm gonna, you know, what if the new FC is good, I'm gonna blow my load on some Schmid, and now he's gonna have the complete counter to Tantalo and pretty much take him out of the meta. Like there's, oh yeah, Lepin has damage immunity, but Lepin's not really used. I knew that there was another character with damage immunity. Yeah, like this pretty much takes Tantalo out. Like if people have a Schmid and he's there with the FC skin, you lose. So it's a debuff, which means it's cleansable, or it should be cleansable. It's not a mark, so it is the debuff that you can get away from. So you have to go into the characters that can remove debuffs, and I think that those are all of like the irises and stuff like that. If I'm not mistaken, I'll go look if I remember, which I might not, but you know, it is what it is. So, and then lastly, we have the Faith Destroyer. If the caster has Condemn Mark, destroy 2 random Guardian Stones from a target upon attacking and removes all Condemn Marks from stealth. So he gets Condemn Mark from something in this kit, and boom, it's right here. Once he gets those marks, once he has that mark, he will destroy 2 random Guardian Stones from the target upon attacking, and then he loses the Condemn Mark. So it looks like they also took his S1, gives him lifesteal to all damage when he hits all enemies, heals his own health by 100% of the damage dealt. So he can heal himself. So there we go. He actually plugs up that other thing, because when a skill actually heals you, it does not actually matter if you're full health or not, it will still heal you. So that makes this part, the corruption, even crazier. The only issue is that I don't know if they fix this, is that he can't actually use Master's Footsteps, like the additional attack thing, the prey thing. He actually can't use that himself unless they change the way it works for set turns for ally, except self, yeah. So he can't use that. So it would have been amazing. He would have been able to like chain S2s and stuff like that. But I don't know. I thought that was kind of bad. It's like the only general that cannot benefit from his own mark. Bathory's under Tranquil. This is lifesteal, and then this is the same thing. Damage burst, 5 mana, and he kills it. If the thing kills a target, so he kills one person and the next target is relatively screwed. More importantly, the Faith Destroyer thing here, it's a special, has nothing to do, he marks himself, right? So I guess, you know, the mark system in the trial or whatever won't really work. But more importantly here, it's just attacking the next one. So he doesn't have to use a skill, he can auto attack, you know, because sometimes after using this skill, you technically won't have any mana left. So there is that. So this being 3 mana means that in some cases he won't actually be able to use this immediately. Though it's lifesteal, so you don't necessarily want to heal in the beginning, but you might want to heal in the beginning because then it starts your corruption. So it's not good. It's not. I was going to say it's not good. It's really good. So he's so far on paper really good. He's pretty much summonable, but the problem still persists that his homeboys do not really. They're not doing anything. Azeon and CC are currently just not really usable in the meta at the moment. So I'm obviously going to summon for him because I have the resources to do so. And since Schmid does not have a skin currently, it would be fine to do that. So here we go. These are the people that you have to watch out for. So debuff. right? So that his thing was a debuff. So these cleanse characters will be affecting that. If it is working as intended, the cleanse characters should interact with it. That might be something I might want to test. But okay, let's go into the dev note, because that's actually very important, like really important. All right, so I wanted to touch up on the dev notes really quick. Like, I'm happy that they announced that, because I would have had to spend more time here, and I really didn't want to. I'll be honest, the dev notes to me are very underwhelming. I don't really care about most that's in here. Chapter 17 is coming out. I still haven't finished 15, and I obviously at that moment means I haven't seen 16 whatsoever. I've lost a lot of interest in the story, though I like the story, but it just seems like it's, I don't know, I just feel weird. These characters here, it's concerning. It's very concerning to me because it says new heroes from the merchant city of Pettis, whatever. Though I like the designs, it doesn't really matter if they open up another thing. I think that that's going to be terrible for the game. Absolutely terrible. Reason being is that there's literally no reason. The whole system of generals, the fact that Vagabond and Saint West aren't like just added into Wasted Red and then Vagabond added into, I don't know, Estes Republic or something like that, has actually kind of ruined those nations. And the fact that they slow roll everything like most gotchas do, but it doesn't work. It does not work, and it just doesn't make, it just really doesn't make any, like, it just doesn't make sense. So if they add another region to the game, it's going to just make these characters, though as cool as they look, this guy, I think, assuming to be the general by the way that they speak about him, he's literally just, he'll be useless. Just like how you don't see Saint West, like not even in any PvP oriented team, even in the depths of ZEUZ, you won't see, you don't see Saint West, you don't see Vagabonds, you still see the standard Dandard. Even though we just talked about how Schmid might, eventually Vagabond's gonna enter the meta, but if they enter another one, they're just gonna sit there. They're gonna give them that one little banner that lets you try to get like the general and then the other units, and it's just gonna sit there. The way that they add characters in this game, yes, I have always said that they need to add more characters and make the game feel like there's more units in the game than just, even Schmid is just a skin. Like, so like I've said before, I think the FC system is failing the game as far as further progressing into the future. It's not doing well. Next is going to be the April Fool's Quantum Raid. We all hate the Quantum Raid, and for some reason they keep bringing it back. It is themed with the art team and things like that. I just don't think that this is, again, strong enough, because even though it seems cool, like it's a funny thing, like how they're involving the art team, which is cool, it's still the Quantum Raid and no one likes it. So when it comes back, regardless of what theme you put on top of it, it's not gonna seem cool. This other aspect of it, that you can use your friend's heroes, is a nice thing. You can use them 5 times a day. That's a cool aspect of it. They are slowly improving on it, but you're improving on something that goes away for months, and it gets one improvement every time it comes back. So it is constantly improving, but it's not always there. I do think that it would make more sense if the Quantum Raid was a standard thing in the game, and it's always there, and then your units are always, pumped up. But the fact that you have to keep over and over and over leveling up these units every time the Quantum Raid comes up, and you have to do it, is a stupid idea. I think that it's just, it doesn't sit well. It doesn't work well. And it's, again, a bad thing. It doesn't work. Quantum Raid is not enjoyable. It's another auto-based mode, and we're gonna be going into a little bit more of that about these auto-based stuff, and it just doesn't feel intuitive and that great. And yes, I know you can manual in it, but the whole point of it is that you make your team strong enough that it can auto the. Don't give me with that bullshit. Quantum Raid's getting better. Sure it is. I bet it is. Tie-dye function. This thing is that you can now design the weapon. I'm all for, you guys know I'm a big fan of the dye system. I think that it's nice, but this just looks like the dye system did way too well, and now they're just trying to give you another option to use your dyes, and now you can dye your weapons, which will make them really cool and your characters look really cool. But what are they looking cool at? Where are we using them at? The only thing that you can do in the end game is PvP, and the PvP is a nightmare. Though it will be cool to see people utilize this in a crazy cool way, there's not enough content that you're going to be using your characters on. A lot of the stuff is auto, and a lot of stuff is auto skip. And when I go down, where is it? Is it like right under here? No, it's not. I'm just gonna say, here it is. Now you're gonna be able to skip the PvP. So you're styling your characters, you're making them look cool, you're leveling them up, and now you're gonna be able to just skip PvP. It's like once you turn on repetitive battle function and play the Zummensteiner, which is, they forgot the S here, the battle will be repeated until all your Zummensteiner tickets have been used up. However, when you are in the process of daily, so the daily match won't work. So this is a way to get your tickets out, which is a fantastic quality of life change. Yes, and I know I haven't watched other people's videos. I actually do want to see how people feel about this update, but technically this is just going to get people off the game even quicker. After you did your first daily match and then you accumulate more stuff and then you go back, it's like, well, now you don't have a reason to stay on the game. Even you're playing the game even less. So you know, it's cool to do this, but the only time I actually saw my characters is when I was doing that. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't done the story, but styling out to the AI doesn't feel that great. Yeah, you fucking story mode minions. Gaze and be amazed by my styling techniques and design. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you obviously want to show other people that your design, so it's meant to be a PvP aspect thing. So yeah, I'm a happy quality of life fan of this, but I'm still concerned on how this is going to make us play the game more. So it looks like they slightly hit them, like they missed the mark on these things, because they don't understand what's gonna, you want to play these games. I know gotcha, I get it. Gotchas aren't meant to be played like this, but they're also meant to be played like this. They're meant to be played all day. That's the whole aspect, is that's where you make the money, is when people want to play the game all day. But there is no reason to play Exos all day. There's so much limitation. You can't even farm in the game. I mean, you technically can if you want to like keep buying tickets with ZEUZ, but there's no real reason to do that. The sweatiest of sweaty, the top of the top, will want to do that. You're not gonna get the middle and nor the lower, and obviously not the free to do that. So it's just, I don't know, doesn't seem great. This is a great feature here. Pretty much now, instead of the auto polish, when you polish, it would be growth. So we'll just level up everything as much as you can. But again, the issue is that you don't have enough to even do those polishing things. So this is a cool thing, which allows you at the very most it will forge for you, which I find annoying, having to forge each individual thing. Then the polish part is not gonna happen because you don't have enough resources for that. I do think that they need to let you get more resources when you do that, or unlock another level that you have to, you know, that's going to give you more materials. I think that would have been a better update to the dev notes, that you're getting more materials or another level of, you know, those farming things. Because remember when the next level came out, people actually had to manual it for a little bit, and then once you got your CP high enough, you didn't, but you had to manual those fights, and it was actually something, again, that you actually were able to play. But again, I feel like they're missing the mark on this stuff. This is a nice thing, and it's something that I've been saying. This is a big, I feel like this might be me. I've talked about this a long time, is that it kind of sucks when you're in, like when you do the daily quest and then you try to do exploration, right, in the region that's most current. There's no reason to have Saint West tickets. There's no reason to have Vagabond tickets. There's no reason to have any of the ticket circles, whatever. There's no reason to have anything outside of the other ones, because they don't have additional units unless those three that we just saw above are part of a new thing. There's literally no reason to have Saint West. Well, like, what unit are you boosting up in a Saint West and unlocking the potential? There's none. So you only really need them for the other one, and it's just, obviously most of us are just lazy. So when you explore, you're just gonna explore whatever region your character currently is in. I actually do move the docks and I go into another region and then explore, because I want more Lenobre. But like, no one's gonna go to Lenobre, even if they're, you know, let's say they started building up their Rachel account, they have to go there for April. They want to improve April, they want to improve, you know, maybe some other character, or like Xeon, you know, they're gonna have to go get the circles from there so they can unlock potential of the rares and the legendaries. But it's just a slight hassle, a slight workaround. So this allows you to at least do it, and I hope it's a 2-to-1 ratio. Yeah, whatever. At least it allows you to do something like, and this is kind of represented, this is very accurate here. You see that this guy has 100,000 of the Lenobre tokens. I think this is a wasted red. He has a decent amount of this one, but he has 175 of Saint West. And this is kind of how your account should be. You shouldn't have Saint West. There's no reason to. Because some of these, it just seems like some of these things that, like, I know at the end the big thing is like they want feedback, right? But there's so many videos that they could have took feedback from. It's like I wonder where they're asking or getting their feedback from. Is it possibly just from Facebook? And I'm just concerned on where they're getting the feedback from, because there's I feel like me, Dread, Kire, and I feel like I feel bad if I'm missing someone that I haven't seen their videos of recent, but there are a decent amount of content creators that are very vocal about the game, of what things it could do. Now, does everyone have the same ideas? Absolutely not. I think that I have different ideas from Dread from me, Kira from me and him, and like things. Everyone wants something a little bit different, but there's some things that we generally all agree on, and like, you know, more content, you know, there's nothing to do in the game. And so next up is the Coliseum random buff thing. This seems I guess decent. I guess common, magic, rare. As you can see here, the common and the magic tier have 80% attack, 8% defense, 40% or 30% HP. The rare has 20% HP, so the rarer the character that you get, the less the buff they get. If you want to change an additional hero, then select it in the hero list. So it's just making this a little bit more tolerable mode to play in. But again, this is another auto-based mode after you get a couple wins, which you should if you're, you know, alive and playing the game with your eyes open. But you know, this is going to make at least Coliseum a little bit better. And yes, then you'll be able to go to the shop and actually get items. But it is what it is. Door creation UI, cool, great, fantastic. Eternal Bond, obviously most people are going to go for Schmid at this moment. Exclusion of the recruitment of the Silver Fate Core is a big slap in the face. First of all, I've already been saying that there's no reason for it to ever be in there. Something that you grind for should have just been something that you grind for, and you don't need extra copies of it. But what's worse about this is that I would assume that they would announce more Silver Fate Cores, more grindable Fate Cores that you can get, but they're not. They're just going to take it out of the recruit pool. And I don't know, you know, there's nothing here that says that those people, from now on, yeah, you will just get it from there. But the people that have summoned and their RNG was skewed by it, nothing happens. You just are to be reassured that it doesn't happen again. Closing comment, it's focusing on improving the existing content, which it is. But that's, the existing content is what it is. You need to do that while still adding. It sucks, and it's what they need to do at this moment. As we just went through Schmid, he seems amazing. He's a cool character, but that's what gold Fate Core hasn't been amazing. The most controversial is FC Valentina. In addition to improvements, we are also preparing new content for Exos Heroes, which that's all I care about. Because after I promise you guys, and I'm not trying to be a dick, it's just that after I started playing games and finishing them and playing other like actual games, not gotchas, but it just feels better. It just feels like a better experience overall than this constant farming. Sometimes I just don't have the energy to really turn the game on just to farm. Like, that's all I'm doing. I'm just farming because there is no content that I want to invest my time into. Yes, I can go into the chapters to reveal the story, but a lot of it comes down to just signature force and just, you know, did I bring the right colors? It just doesn't really feel that enjoyable, that strategic. There's not, you know, it doesn't feel that much like that to me. I really needed them to add in some other cool thing that will really spur me to kind of continue to play the game outside of just coming and checking back once they do updates, that's kind of what it's starting to come off to me. It's just that I can't really do this on a daily basis, but I can come back when they do an update and like see what character they did into it, and I'll do my dailies if I feel like it. That's just kind of how it seems at the moment. It doesn't really seem like a lot of this quality of life stuff, like I said, is about playing the game even less. Play the game even less. That thing that you had to do when you had to do all your like fight tickets, all even less. Exploration, don't even worry about it. Just at the end of your play session, just put it on smart exploration, and then just you're good to go. Do all your other things that are actually time-based, and then, you know, just leave your exploration at the end of the day, you know. Or as we know, once these exploration events go on, you just stack your Levi stones, prepare for the next core raid, and then the core raid will keep you technically quote-unquote on the playing, but you're just doing a very easy stage, the easiest of easiest stages, and you're just doing it over and over again. Usually just walk away from your computer kind of thing. So it's just, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure I know how I stand. YFOs in the comment section below. How do you guys stand as far as like, what are you expecting from the game? Like, I can ask them for content. You know, I could say I want content all the time, but what is it that, you know, what kind of content? Because if they add another auto-based thing, that's just gonna, I feel like that's just not fun. You know, it's just gonna keep you attached to the game. But are you having fun? Are you enjoying yourself? I'm not having fun. You know, I have more fun just summoning a character, figuring out their ins and outs. But once I figure it out, it's whether or not I have enough signature force on them, whether or not I have enough gear. You know, it just, where's the fun? And that's what I play games for. I play games to have fun, or to be scared, or be frightened, or feel sad, go through the emotional roller coaster. But if the only emotional roller coaster I have in this game is just being bored because I have to keep grinding, I don't think that that's a good thing. Personally, that's just me personally. So I've already said that I can't cover this game. Like, if there's nothing going on in the game, I'm not covering it. I'm not going to cover anything I'm not interested in. So the dev notes just look more, you know, quote unquote the same. They're just doing small changes over time, which is on pace possibly for the game, which a lot of people probably won't mind that. But I do, because I want to play more games. I want to play more things that are going to bring more excitement to the channel, and more things that are going to bring excitement to me. You know, what I'm having fun. If you guys check out when I'm playing Runeterra, or when I'm playing League, or when I'm playing, well, you don't see me when I play Hades or any other games. I have a lot of fun. It's a different person that's recording these videos. And here it's just like, I feel like I'm breaking down the Pythagorean theorem. It's just like I'm trying to figure out something, which I have fun doing that too. But once you've done your homework and hand it in to the teacher, that's it. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed the video. YFOs in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel. Like, comment, subscribe, and just remember that every day at the Kashino is your lucky day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.